WIBTA. If I just moved my chair away from my husband while I'm eating? My husband, 41M, and I have 32F, have been married for 10 years and have a routine where we eat dinner while watching TV. We sit next to each other in our big, comfy chairs, using little TV trays. However, he prefers to hold his food instead of using his tray. This is important later. He works from home most days, while I work from home fully. We talk throughout the day during breaks, so we don't really have traditional dinner conversations, e.g., how was your day? My husband suffers from seasonal allergies, and some months are rougher than others. He has allergy meds and we always keep tissues nearby, but he often says he doesn't have time to reach for them when we're eating, because he's holding his plate and refuses to use the TV tray. Over the past year, he started doing something that I find extremely disrespectful and disgusting. When he feels a sneeze coming on, he moves his plate to the right and turns his head left, toward me and my plate. He doesn't warn me, and if I'm not paying attention, scrolling Netflix for something for us to watch, or already chowing down, I don't notice until it's too late. He sneezes violently and repeatedly, without covering his mouth, all over me and my food. When I tell him how gross it is, he says it's not that bad. I've had to throw my food away multiple times because I refuse to eat it after it's been sneezed on. I'm sorry, it's gross. I don't think asking me to eat whatever was expelled from his nose and mouth is reasonable. I've also had to clean myself off several times because I don't want spittle and whatever else all over me. When I threw the food away, he said I was overreacting and being unreasonable. I told him he should either use the TV tray or sneeze in the direction of his own damned plate if it's no big deal, as he says. He has refused to trade plates with me several times when this happens, and he groans and acts like I'm causing an issue when I say we should trade. Once when we were having takeout and didn't have any leftovers, he even added so much chili to his food that it was too hot for me to eat, and sat there, smugly, saying how now I couldn't ask him to trade. It felt childish AF. This has just added to the feeling of disrespect coming from him. I'm tired of throwing away food, but I also don't want to eat it after what he does to it. It's gross. WIBTA. If I just moved my chair away from him while I'm eating? He says he can't control this, so I don't see another solution if he's unwilling to not sneeze in my general direction. I know he'll huff and puff and roll his eyes and say that I'm being unreasonable, but I doubt he'll make more of a fuss than that. But would this make me TA? I just want to eat my food without his nasal contributions. Is that really too much to ask? Editing to add asterisk. A sincere thank you to the folks who actually gave good advice, listened, and cared. Thank you, from the bottom of my anxiety-riddled heart. I mean it. It means something to me to know that someone, somewhere, genuinely cares about a random stranger on the internet. You're not as rare as I thought, which is nice to know in the grand scheme of things. I'm beyond overwhelmed with the replies. I'm not an extrovert. I'm trying to keep up with the replies, but, as said, I'm also trying to get some work done. I never expected this many reactions. It's a lot to sort through, and I'm sorry to those who left genuine comments that I missed. I will try to go through and answer everyone, but if I miss you, sorry about that. I've gone from thinking this was just a move the chair / don't move the chair. It's not worth the drama post to questioning whether or not I'm in an abusive marriage, and what that means for me, for him, for us, going forward. I honestly wasn't thinking of this as abusive. I feel more than a little stupid for not recognizing it, especially because, if I read this story from someone else, I'd be outraged. I'm ashamed and genuinely embarrassed. I can tell you one thing for sure. I will not be getting sneezed on today, and we will be having a conversation about it soon. Update / answered questions asterisk. Our age gap asterisk. There has been some speculation about my husband being a predator. We met online in a space where people weren't sharing their ages. My avatar was a sketch I'd done, and his was a character from his favorite book series. He didn't go trolling for barely out of college girls. We met through a shared hobby, which we still share and enjoy together. We eventually started flirting and then shared our contact information outside of the site. So, whatever story you've told yourself about him being some sort of creep, it's not true. That's not to say there isn't an unhealthy power dynamic at play, but please don't demonize a man for something he didn't do. It's unhelpful and hurtful. If you think it's a red flag that I'm sticking up for someone I love, perhaps examine why you wouldn't stick up for those you love when they're falsely accused of something. Asterisk, especially something like that. Asterisk. The update asterisk. Last night, I moved my chair. Yes, it's easy to move my chair. It glides right across the floor without issue. The positioning is such that unless he performs an exorcist-level head spin, sneezing at me / on me shouldn't be a problem. He grumbled a bit as we ate, saying I was being silly. Tonight, there was no sneeze, as is typical on most nights, which, I guess I didn't make clear enough in my original post that this isn't an everyday thing. After we finished eating in our highly uncivilized, no dinner table way, which some of you were scarily offended by, live and let live, folks, I moved my chair back. I started a conversation with him about why I moved the chair and expressed that I was unhappy with him sneezing on me, that I found it vile and disgusting, and that expecting me to eat his germs was not okay. We live in a city, so I can always go out to eat or even order something in if I'm not in the mood to dig through the freezer, but I shouldn't have to waste money. The compromise was either that I continue moving my chair or that he starts using his TV tray and sneezing, at the very least, into his elbow. He told me, again, that it wasn't on purpose and seemed annoyed that I'd bring it up at all, but he accepted it, and that was that. He switched the topic after saying the fine, that translates to, I'm accepting this, but I don't like it. We didn't discuss it further. For the rest of the night, he acted like nothing was out of the ordinary, strange, or strained in any way. I'm sure that's a red flag all by itself, but it's the least of my problems right now. One small step. I'll be working on slowly setting boundaries for myself and speaking up more. It'll be a process. Not a very dramatic update, I know, but this is just what life is sometimes. Again, to the folks who have reached out, both privately and in the comment section, I appreciate you, your stories, and your feedback. Thank you for your commiseration, and yes, after some of the replies I've gotten, I absolutely understand why you didn't want to share publicly. It's still helpful to know I'm not alone in this. I also appreciate the patience of the folks who didn't get mad that I couldn't respond with absolute accuracy and communicate perfectly in a timely fashion while somehow also being able to analyze my entire relationship dynamic from an outside, totally objective perspective. That's a big ask, and I appreciate the benefit of grace and patience from those who offered it. I clearly cannot keep up with the comments and don't have hours to spend replying each day, so I'm sorry if I missed you. I hope this update suffices.